Alright, so this here was a battle that I kind of just went into. I had my list for a straight Pidgeot X deck, and I kind of revamped it a little bit with some changes based on my current Mega Pidgeot build, just so I can see what it would be like to run a Pidgeot deck without the Megas. And it has been quite interesting, because I got space for things I want to put in my Mega Pidgeot deck, like Crushing Hammers and well, Pokemon Ranger, as you see there. So I'm going into this game and I see that my opponent might be playing Rainbow Road, and that's just a really bad matchup in general. So I'm sitting here hoping it's not Rainbow Road, and it turns out the match we end up going against is it Gardevoir? I don't remember. This is a post recording, but he flips over a Blitzel, and I'm like, crap. I will be running into this, and this here is a problem that I've had with Pokemon lately. Is that no one really techs for Pidgeot, but everything else is weak to lightning or fighting resistance, and Pidgeot happens to share those things. And it's bad for us because people who tech Zebstrika aren't doing so because of Pidgeot. They're doing it to like make a Red Quasar Evil Tall, or maybe just to take a Primal Shaman. And here I'm trying to figure out what's going on because I made changes to the list, and I don't remember there being a Shaman EX in it. And I'm like, what version of this deck am I playing with right now? Shaman? I thought I had Octillery in the list because I opted to go with Octillery over Garbodor simply because I like the consistency that Octillery gives us. I feel the best build for Pidgeot EX is an inconsistent one. If you're playing Pidgeot consistently, then you're doing something wrong. That's just my opinion on it. Like, that's a success that I've had with it. So he bumps my Silent Lab that I had and plays a Parallel City. It's no big deal. So I'm thinking, well, now my Silent Lab got bumped, so I guess I have a Shaman now. Like, that was kind of my thought for that. But I didn't want to play it, so I just go ahead and end, see if we can get some more cards here. Because we still play like 8 basic energy in this deck. And the Fighting Fury belt on the Blitzel was quite annoying because it's going to take away a turn where I actually have to knock it out. So I'm deciding on where I want this energy to go. Because you could have Zebstrika, double colorless energy in his hand. If I put the energy on the active and he knocks it out, then I'm the energy behind, and that's going to be bad for me. But I decide to take a risk and put the energy on the active Pidgeot. So if I do hit a double, then I can hit it and go from there. And this here is, a good thing for me to see. I see a fairy energy. So I'm still not sure exactly what deck this is at this point. Because I came across another Mega Gardevoir deck that played 2/2 Zebstrika, and it destroyed me. So he plays nothing, and I'm like, okay. So what I thought might have happened, because I put a 1 Bunnelby in this deck, and I wasn't sure if the program got confused and took away my Bunnelby and put the Shaman in, but something happened. So I played a Silent Lab again, so if he has like a Hoop or something, he doesn't get the ability for it. And I just play my end, and we get some more Pidgeots. And I see the Remoraid, and I'm like, okay, so Remoraid is in the deck. Then what's the Shaman doing here? And I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, I don't know what happened with my list. So I'm debating, do I want to play this hammer or not? And I decide to, and I get tail, so we wasted a turn, and we get Featherlance and go from there. Like, this wasn't a slow roll on my opponent here because it had the Fighting Fury belt, and I knew it had the Fighting Fury belt, so I wanted to play as many cards as I could because if my opponent hits an end or something, then our hand size will go up. A Lugia comes down. That's not going to matter because you have Silent Lab. Let me say, I have been loving Silent Lab. It's just been a godsend for me. Like, I have 1 Parallel City in this deck, but since I'm not running Shrine of Memories, we can afford to play that Parallel City for more disruption. And it's been great. So the Zebstrika comes down, and I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be it. He is going to start wrecking me. And I'm not going to be able to do anything about it. He plays a Max Elixir, and I believe he misses it. Nope, he gets the energy on the Lugia. And another Max Elixir. I think he misses this one. Yeah. And the last card he has in hand is, and I'm like, oh my god, he's going to get an energy. He's going to knock out my Pidgeot, and I'm going to have to give him 2 prizes or 4 prizes before I can even do anything. And that Shaman is back. And I'm trying to figure out what in the world to do. Like, every time he plays a card, it feels like my heart just skips a beat. We see the Fighting Fury Belt on the Lugia. We see the Diancie come down. And this year is kind of when I figured out that it wasn't a Gardevoir list. It was a super complicated Diancie EX list. Another Fighting Fury Belt comes down. And, like, I'm just getting scared here because I feel like he's slow rolling. Like, he's playing me right now. And I'm like, oh my god, he's going to get the energy. And he's going to knock out, like, all my Pidgeots. And I'm not going to be able to do anything in this game. Because Zebstrika is a seriously broken card. Like, it has no reason to exist. And it hard counters everything with a lightning weakness, with a fighting resistance for no reason. And he plays the Fairy Drop. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be one of these decks. Because Diancie EX is really good. It has an attack that does 110 damage. If there's a stadium in play, I believe, or something like that. But he just retreats. And I'm like, yes, this is good. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do here. I know I want to get down in Octillery. So this is the first opportunity I actually have to search my deck. So I'm going to go in trying to figure out what I'm playing with. I don't know if I want to keep the Fighting Fury Belt, but I decided that if he does get that going, a Max Potion isn't going to help me. So I just decided to keep the Fighting Fury Belt, so I can play that down and then go for something else. So I'm looking through my deck and I don't see the Bunnelby. And I just decided, like, okay, so something happened and the Shaman got in my deck and Bunnelby didn't. And I just kind of gave up on it. Now, I always held on to the fact that it could be prized. So I kind of just went with that. So we got some good stuff here. And I have really started liking playing the Pidgeot with Disruption. So we max out Crushing, we max Crushing Hammers, we got 2 Enhanced Hammers, and we have 2 Team Player Grunts. We played 4 Puzzle times, and we have a Bunnelby in the deck. By the way, Bunnelby is in the deck. At the end, I went in and checked to see what was actually in the deck. Bunnelby was there, and Shaman was also on the list. I think what happened was I completely glanced over Shaman because this year was the Garbodor build that I had, and naturally, if you're playing with Garbodor, you can't use Octillery. I mean, I would probably be the person that would run Octillery and Garbodor together and just have it for that one specific matchup. And that is something that I have been thinking about, putting a 1-1 Garbodor in my Mega Pidgeot list, just for those problematic matchups. But he ends us, and we get Remoraid and Octillery, so we just decide that we're going to get 2 Octilleries down, because it is extremely helpful. And I'm deciding not to bump my Parallel City, or my Silent Lap. I want him to do it because it has been very disruptive for him. It turns off pressure and it turns off Diancie EX's Diamond Shield ability. That makes it to where your bench take 30 less damage, or your Pokemon in general take 30 less damage. So my hand is looking nice. I have one more Puzzle of Time somewhere. I don't remember if it's in the deck, but we have one more somewhere. And the deck does run Bunnelby, so if something ever happened and we had maybe a turn or two to use Rototiller with Bunnelby, we can put cards like that back into the deck. So, of course, we're going to put down the Remoraid. And I'm pretty sure that DCE goes down on the other Pidgeot, because right now, Zebstrika is damaged, so he can attack my active Pidgeot, knock it out, but we'll have one on the bench to respond with. So we're going to go ahead and drop the Skylar, trying to figure out what we want, and we want Lysander. Because we want to take that Zebstrika off the bench. We don't want it there. And, I mean, that's pretty much all we can do. So we should, I think we end our turn. And we do that because we want him to waste the resources to move the Lugia. So if he attaches an energy to it, that's an energy that's not on Zebstrika. And then next turn, we will drop the Lysander on the Zebstrika and knock it out. So that was my plan. The Lugia isn't a threat. And we see another Fairy drop coming down. The Zebstrika has 60 damage on it. So even if he attaches an energy to it and plays the Fairy Doom to remove 50 from it, it'll still have 90 health left. which is still in range of my almost Night Spear attack. And that's exactly what he does. He attaches the Fairy Energy and then drops the Fairy Dew, healing it. So it's still in my knockout range. And he plays the Shaman. Lugia comes down, which is not a problem for Pidgeot, simply because he hits us once, we max potion, we throw an energy down, and, well, he has to dump a bunch of energy on a Lugia to knock us out. So right now, we're constantly in the advantage, it feels like. Our goal is to remove Zebstrika, because if we do that, then the game gets much better for us. And this here is clearly an anti-meta deck that we're going up against here. Diancie deals with Giratina almost effectively. And if you guys read my review, you would know that I did have a joke in there somewhere saying you could run Diancie EX in your list as well for that. And he life Sanders our Pidgeot out, which is super annoying because I don't have the energy to move it. I don't have a way to move it, period. We didn't hit any of our float stones. Not that that would matter because the float stone wouldn't do anything for this Pidgeot. So we may add Olivia to this deck because, I mean, Pidgeot's not a fat Pokemon, but when you have to move it so you can attack with something else, then it kind of sucks. And this here isn't a deck that I want to, you know, be draw passing against because, well, they got Zebstrika and they get an energy on Zebstrika and they move Lugia and, you know, it hurts. So I'm trying to figure out what do I do here. Like, I don't have a play. I can't do anything, so I just say, you know what, I'm just going to play the Hex Maniac, and we're going to hope we get something next turn because we could. And I know some people would just play the Puzzle of Time to manipulate the top 3, but I would much rather have the Puzzle of Time than that. So you see that we have an energy retrieval here. And I like energy retrieval, but I think I like energy retrieval more in Mega Pidgeot. And there goes the double colorless energy on his Zebstrika, but he's still going to have to move his Lugia, which I don't think he's going to be able to. But going back to my previous thought, the energy retrieval I really like in Mega Pidgeot because it gives me an option to attack or to get 2 basic energy back, which helps a lot. In this deck in particular, since we're not playing Mega Pidgeot and we don't really need to have the energy, I replaced the energy retrieval with an energy reset to see if that serves us better, and it does, because the Pidgeot, like one of these 2 here, get hit for not lethal damage, but it's almost enough. We can play that energy reset, recover those energy, have them, drop a max potion, and play the energy back down. That's the goal. But our hand is stacked right now. We get 2 of these, an enhanced hammer that I don't think we play, and we have the double. We're going to put that on the active so we can move. And basically what we're trying to do here is draw into our Lysander. Because if we do that, the enhanced hammer isn't going to matter, and, well, we don't need the energy retrieval right now. If we do need it, we still have 2 puzzles on the deck somewhere. So that's our goal there. So we're going to get rid of these 2 cards here. We're going to hold on to the supporter because if we miss the Lysander, we still have a supporter, and we want to have a supporter. So if we look through our deck to see what's there, I want to grab the Pidgeot EX just to have it down, but I decided not to because if Bunnelby is in the deck, it's probably in the prizes, and I want to have that bench spot open for it. And there's the Lysander, the very next card. So we are going to Lysander out that Zebstrika, and we're going to just remove it from the board. We're going to discard our energy here, bring up a Pidgeot. Doesn't matter which one, they both can attack. Abyssal Hand for 1, just so we have that 1 card advancement. And then we'll just use almost Night Spear. That's what I'm calling the attack. Put the damage on the bench Lugia so it is closer to being knocked out. I probably could have spread that damage a little bit more for the event that I needed to play Parallel City. He's just going to dump that Lugia. But I mean, it doesn't matter because a Lugia is a little bit more annoying than he has any right to be. So I'd rather it just not be in play. But we do knock out the Zebstrika, which is what I wanted. We managed to stall it long enough to get rid of it. He didn't have what he needed to do something. And we just take a prize, our first prize. You know, many turns in, opponent has 12 cards left in deck. I have 15. Fine took the first prize. And this is kind of what I want to do with Pidgeot here. We want to play as conservatively as we can and do things when we capitalize on turns where our opponent can't do anything. And that's the reason why I kind of like Bunnelby in the deck, because it lets me put cards back into the deck that we need on turns our opponent can't do anything. So our turn comes up and we're like, yeah, I think I'm done with this turn, and I just Do we hit him? Yeah, we hit him because why not? We put 80 on the active or 90 on the active. I probably should have played that basic metal, but I decided not to. For the case that he live centered out that Pidgeot again, then we would have the energy to retreat. So our damage is being reduced by 30. This Diancie has a lot of health, and he plays Fairy Drops. So you can see how annoying this is going to be. So that goes down to 10, and it has, what, 180 hit points left. These are numbers that Pidgeot can't hit with almost Night Sphere. So we are kind of in the driver's seat, but we're really waiting for our opponent to do something to us. So he plays another Fairy Energy, does not have the DCE, which is fine because that's one more turn that our opponent is not doing something, which is what we want. And that's kind of the reason why we want the, the Bunnelby in the deck. And he's going to Lysander out my Pidgeot again, so that's been quite annoying, but he's wasting Burst Seeker to do that. And we just say, screw it. It's going to end my turn. I don't need to do anything. It's not that I don't have anything. You guys see my hand is stacked. I have the Max Potion. I have the basic Metal Energy. I have things I can do, but I mean, I don't really need to do anything. I'm just going to wait for him to hit me and then go from there. If he doesn't attach an energy to the active, then I'm going to do the same thing and just pass my turn. He plays another Burst Seeker for an end, so he can't have too many of those left. If that might even be his last one, but I mean, we're good. We have things, but we do hit our energy again. As a matter of fact, we can play this whole hand out. Assuming he gets an energy that attacks us, and there's the double. He does Wonder Stays. It's going to do 120 just because of the Fighting Fury Belt, and so it does more damage depending on that. So we play the Max Potion. We attach the basic metal. We play the Crushing Hammer, and we get heads on it. Now I'm trying to decide which energy I want to discard. So I'm looking at my discard to see how many enhanced hammers I have. I have one more left, and I'm debating whether or not to discard the fairy and see if I can hard draw into the enhanced hammer and remove 2 energy this turn. But I think ultimately, so I'm checking what he has here too. He has 2 DCs in his discard pile. He didn't reveal the special charge. I sure he would have done it already if he had to. But we decided to go with the DCE because why not? If he has another one, he'll play it. And this is where we drop our Parallel City. As you see, I do have the Magearna EX in my hand. And I'm debating whether or not to play it. Because at this point, I'm thinking I just don't have Bunnelby in the deck. So I could play it. And if he has anything with an effect that could, cripple us in any way, Magearna would prevent it. But I'm still holding on here that, we do have it in the prizes somewhere. So I'm just going to Abyssal Hand here. We're going to draw 1 card, and we're probably just going to end our turn. Oh, right. He hit us, so we mirror move for 100. And he's got, what, 80 health left? 70? I don't know how much HP Magearna or Diancie EX has. I think he has like 150 or 160. It's one of those something. But okay, he has 150 health. So he is want to do stuff to us. We're going to get hit with another end. And as you see, our opponent's deck is quite low. And this here is going to be his last turn. He draws all the cards in his deck. And we still have things we can do. So we never really did take all of our prize cards. But our opponent played through his deck way too quickly to try to do something against us. And if his deck was being played against any other meta deck like Yveltal, Darkrai Giratina, not really for Ninja, but he'd have been able to win. And that is the game, a very interesting match, one that would have went sideways if he didn't deal with Zebstrika immediately. But that's the game, and I hope you all enjoyed it.